Well, I've been kicked out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired for my last job. Hot-wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Paid my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm by the things we do, or the trouble that we get into. Other than a while, every once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. Good old boys is all we'll ever be. I got 6 weeks old.
I like that little bump right there. Oh, take that, people.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our favorite day of the week on the Wade and Carter Show.
Tuesday. You have to talk slow
just to get through the
Tuesday.
2 items that we have to talk about today.
There's just a bag of nothing.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Why does the government's a big proponent of that, right? We've talked about the fact that they come in on Fridays at 5 in the afternoon Eastern time, and they drop a couple of factoids that matter.
Yep.
By Monday, they've been largely ignored because we live in a right now society. Saturday, Sunday, well, that's old news on Monday.
Well, and today, like the CPI numbers are coming out. That'll be an indicator of inflation. Like that couldn't have been released yesterday. They didn't have the numbers ready. Come on.
Yeah.
There's no number cruncher in DC sitting there working until 5 o'clock yesterday to get these numbers ready to be launched today at 8.
Absolutely.
They were ready yesterday. They just don't want to do it until today.
Yep. Tuesday is a historically, for us, as we're in our 9th year, it's a historically bad news day.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean we don't have plenty to talk about. It just means there's no like breaking news, no big info, except this. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. It's 79 degrees in Victoria under sunny skies, heading to a high of 94. I guess the big news is that the TCEQ accepted that our chlorine levels were. I told Ash, this is how we'll read this. We have a full page memo for immediate release from the city. And instead of saying TCEQ confirms chlorine levels, city sends water samples for bacteriological testing. On Tuesday, we would say TCEQ confirms chlorine levels. What that means is that if the bacterial test passes, we could be cleared. You could be cleared. I've gone back to drinking my tap water and brushing my teeth with it with no real effects. You'll be cleared. The government will tell you.
I noticed when you got up from the sofa, you brown spot on your pants.
No effect on me.
It's like a side effect of all that medicine. There could be anal leakage.
As the Chamber of Commerce and other news announcing that on the heels of the wildly successful Bring Your Boots campaign of several years ago, they're toying with the idea of having Bring Your Thermos, Bring Your Water. Bring your water. Come to Victoria. Bring your own water. BYOW. Yeah.
I like it.
No more of this.
Something.
We're not going to tolerate
No, we
this
won't tolerate
in
tap
River
water.
City. Not going to happen.
Ricky King, Greg Garcia, Wendy Garcia on the podium this morning. Lisa Poole, good morning. Buddy Stavanoa checking in. Mark Kurtz, BJ Nelson, Linda Chris, Stephanie Connie. There's Patrick Strauss.
Hi, Patrick.
Junior Sample says, don't drink the water, drink margaritas. Rena Scherer, good morning. Stephen Castaneda, Marvin Mickish, Tammy Keeling.
Saw Patrick and his son-in-law the other day at HEB. I was in a mad rush. They were walking through. Quick handshake.
James Kurth, we're huge in Italy this morning. Torrin Bales checking in. Jordan Glass.
Hi, Torrin.
Monty Howard, Micah Patton, Andrew Alvarez, David Glass. Good morning, Marina.
Hi. Did you see the judge? Was the judge in?
I haven't seen the judge in yet.
Seen the judge yet. Judge, where you at?
Bobby Leister. Oh, no judge. No judge.
Let's see what Lilo sent us. It's always good.
John Anderson, Scott Tomko, Gilbert Ramon.
Oh, the great folks over at Magic 95.9 FM, our mothership, the home base for Wade and Carter for years, announcing that we're also live on Roku today. So
nice.
You can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook. Obviously, most of you are on Facebook and YouTube. Hey, Joaquin.
Good morning, Joaquin.
I don't know what Gilbert's got Joaquin doing at 7:05.
Listening to this show.
Summertime.
That's a good parenting right there.
That is good parenting.
Scott Tomko, Christy Thurman. So basically, the city tested water at chlorine levels at 16 different sites yesterday, confirmed chlorine levels are compliant with the TCEQ guidelines, which means, what, 0.3 to 0.5? Is that right?
03, isn't it? On Monday afternoon, Public Works sent water samples to a lab for testing. The testing process takes 24 hours.
That's to let us know if there's any garbage in our water.
And if there's not, then they will clear it up. And you should know this afternoon. They'll say, hey, the water's good. Or at worst case, probably tomorrow morning.
Yeah. They are doing the chlorine burn, and the chlorine conversion will last for about a month. So the city will go back to the chloramine disinfectant on Tuesday, August 12th.
Which apparently this is an annual or semi-annual or a scheduled event. And they do this. They're actually doing it in July this month.
Because of this instead of August. And actually, they did say, I think at one of the press conferences, they are looking at maybe doing it earlier in the year. So that maybe before the summer heat. A lot of people on Facebook complaining that they don't know what's going on with this with the city. If you can get onto Facebook to complain, you can go to the city's Facebook page to find out what's going on. I mean, I saw idiots complaining that, well, the city's not sending out notices. I'm not getting notification. Yeah. If you had the time to post that on Facebook, you moron, you had the time to find the city's Facebook page, or you had the time to actually find this press release, which is probably on the city's page.
It is.
That tells you how to sign up for the city's alert center as well. So these people are
you can go through and you read the comments. That's exactly right, Ash. When you go through and you read the comments on these deals, they fall into that. Somebody's got to pay. Heads got to roll. And then the next guy's like, what's the big deal? We grew up boiling water unless we were drinking hot water out of a water hose. And there's always that one that wants to totally dismiss it. There is a huge economic price being paid in Victoria right now at a time when the economy is not great. I mean, as far as the problems are, you look at somebody like Starbucks, which, by the way, Torrin Bales, I don't know how he's getting by. If Melissa didn't have that coffee maker, because Torrin Bales is Starbucks, and I don't know what they're doing for them, but $10 isn't going to cut it for Starbucks.
No, not at all. And like we said yesterday, like I said yesterday, the $10 barely covered the water that I'm still using.
Yeah.
But, when the weekend came and I switched to Jameson. No, just kidding.
Nice.
Don't drink Jameson. Don't drink Irish whiskey. It's bad for you.
Yeah, John Anderson, that's a solid question.
Yeah, we'll get to that too.
Doesn't make sense.
We'll get to that too, because that's all, that's kind of what's going on. Scott Snow, good morning. Sherry Jacobs checking in. Matt Boucher. Joaquin's got STJ football strength conditioning.
There you go.
That's
St. Joe, get after it.
So, I don't know. I just
the latest numbers in the loss in the what I call the Kerrville flood. That's not right. The Hill Country flood, Hunt, Ingram, 132 confirmed dead, still missing over 100.
Yeah.
You're going to see when this is all said and done,
There'll be something they won't ever find.
easily 200 people dead. But they're saying, well, what could be done? You know, why didn't the warning systems work? The warning systems did work. It's been shown
in the city.
There were notifications 12 hours before the flood, 3 hours before the flood.
As it was flooding. About
Problem is, it happens in the middle of the night and mass evacuations. The only way to make sure you're never going to drown is to not be in the riverbed.
Yeah. Or the floodplain.
There you are. There you have it.
I mean, that's the only way to prevent these is to stop allowing building in those areas.
Yeah.
But then you wouldn't have the Riverwalk in San Antonio. Then you wouldn't have a lot of, I mean, you know, we criticize the city, but we're not going to have a bunch of businesses. Well, we do at times, but you know, we're not going to have a bunch of businesses in Riverside Park be flooded out because we don't have any businesses along our river in Riverside Park.
No, but man, what an opportunity. What an opportunity. I know that the park is chartered in such a way that there's no monetary advancement down there, but change the charter. There ought to be some.
You can't tell me we couldn't turn our Riverside Park river because I mean, here's my beef with it. But then I walk my dog
sit
down
there and watch the muddy water go by, occasional turd come by.
I mean, but you know what? Let's build some buildings on stilts. And
Port O'Connor, you know, just down there, start where the pump house is and kind of go boom, 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 boom down that, where you could have like
or up at the bluff, up at the top on Vine Street, or right at Vine and McCray, right at the top where it's above, and you've got that flat plateau where those little league fields used to be. Maybe that's where you start
the old plateau. Texas say plateau.
It ain't going to flood.
Well, no, but what are you going to look at? The old Little League field?
No, but you
down the hill there at the old Rose Garden.
Parking out front, patios on the back. Then you look down into the river.
Kind of like you, business in the front, party in the back.
There's no. Ain't a mullet. Jealous.
There was a time. I've seen the pictures.
Wasn't a mullet. It was all one length.
It was interesting.
It was.
Steve Bannon.
There was a time. Travis Tritt just came to mind.
Right. And Marty Stewart.
Kelly Frommy says there's no Starbucks in Myersville. Right. They have good water.
Torn could build one out there and, you know, he could support it.
Junior Sample says he's going to put a Rawbucks at his front gate and nursery. You know, you could put your own coffee stand out there. Monty Howard says he expects a flood control project akin to the Canyon Dam above Kerrville in the not too distant future.
Yeah, it's on the Guadalupe River, which is already part of, like, Canyon Lake's still not full.
No, I don't know where. I don't see how you're going to get another dam there.
Yeah.
Torrin Bale says they need to open up the river so you can see it, clear some of the foliage.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
I agree.
Torrin, I mean, you and I could go down there with chainsaws.
Thank you, Christy.
Guys. I like Christy Thurman says, cool name for the restaurant, The Plateau. Yeah. And I agree with Peter McNally. Let private investment have a shot. I don't need this. I'm not suggesting the city of Victoria do it. I'm suggesting the city of Victoria get out of the way.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, sounds like something somebody might have run on when they ran for mayor. Get the city out of the way.
Who was that, Raleigh?
I don't remember. At the end of the day, it was Raleigh. He took all the best ideas and had that folksy all shucks thing, and people bought it.
And a fedora. That's what you were missing.
He promised the south side was going to be renovated.
Now they were going to get an HEB.
That'll push you over the top. Waiting for that to happen.
Where's that HEB?
While Dick's is going out of business, mayors are promising a development of a grocery store on the south side. I do wonder what you could do down there. Can you imagine if you really had some vision and you just accommodated for the fact that river gets out of its banks about once every 2 or 3 years?
That's what I'm saying. You build it up before the Rose Garden. Could you imagine if somebody invested in Schrader Hall and moved it to there?
Oh, if Schrader Hall sat where Riverside Market Square sat right now, people would forget about soccer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Schrader Hall is still sitting where it's always sat. It does have
in
new
Schrader.
ownership. Yeah.
Does it have new ownership?
Yes. The lady that bought it for way too much money, like it was like this: we're going to open the bidding, $50, 75, 100. I'll bid 500,000. Sold to the lady with no common business sense. She felt romantically attached to it somehow because of her husband, put a bunch of money in it. It is a beautiful facility. And just sitting there because, there's just not much to do in Schrader, which is great and good for the folks of Schrader. But can you imagine if you took Schrader Hall and you somehow finagled the property away from Region 3, who just stole the property out that Pioneer had out on 77 North. And you move Schrader Hall out there where you've got parking for 5,000 cars. And somehow you were to build like an amphitheater also where you could have outdoor venues. And while you're at it, you let the county and the city do all their vehicle maintenance out there at those huge garages that are there during the week, right? They use all that concrete. And then you have the chamber move out there because town, that's the only way town can grow anyway.
I think you turn it into that, and plus the new
convention center.
That's where your livestock show goes, rodeos.
There you go.
No, I think it would be perfect to be moved down on the plateau.
But that would require vision, and there is no
money.
Vision. There's certainly no vision without money.
The Riverside Boardwalk. You and I have discussed this. That, I mean, and I've said it for years. The city has missed an opportunity to.
No doubt.
I mean, look at every other city. A lot of cities, the river goes right through the downtown.
Well, there's two problems, right? We've done absolutely nothing by design to embrace the I-69 corridor. Nothing. There's just little old oil field shops out there. That's fine and good. But at the time, it's because it was cheap real estate.
Yeah.
Now it's probably so expensive you can't develop it.
Well, I mean, think about 77 coming in from Hallettsville. That's the nice area, and it's the same sort of thing. You had Pioneer. You got a trailer shop.
Yeah.
You had an old broken down muffler shop. I mean, that's
the attractive view
supposedly,
town.
You come in on 59 from Goliad, there's not much difference. You got an old motel and a raisin windmill store.
Yeah.
There's no, don't take any offense, anybody, but there's no attractive entrance into Victoria.
No, there's not. There's really not. Actually, believe it or not, an area that has kind of cleaned up, it's actually more attractive than in the past to come in from Goliad. If you come in on Business 59,
a little bit better.
Come around, cross the old Moody Street Bridge.
Now, David Brogger says his dad said a long time ago there was talk about making downtown kind of like a San Antonio Riverwalk, diverting water via canals. Yeah, I think what happened there, money.
GBRA, too. You can't, the government says you can't divert the river, you can't do this, you can't do that. And there would be, can you imagine if the city were to divert water and then that flooded? It'd just be terrible. So, but yeah, there ought to be a way to, if you just went like where the pump house is and you went to the other side of the river and you found a way to just clean up that shoreline and uplight those trees, and the mosquitoes would be so happy. Water moccasins, it'd be great. It would be great. But somebody with some vision, well, Matt Boucher is right. It's nicknamed the Crossroads for a reason, because the roads cross. And I tell people all the time, we're in the middle of everything, a long way from anything. But it is what it is, right? I mean, Victoria, we don't have visible huge drug problems, huge gang problems, huge crime problems.
If we could find a way to take the people of this city who I mean, I don't know that I've ever gone into a place more welcoming when I moved here.
True story.
And embraced by people.
And unaffected by societal norms. We don't, with the exception of Omar Rashid, rest his career, we don't have like a Muslims running for mayor. We don't have a lot of huge religious disputes in town.
No, we don't. We get a few people that think that that they should protest everything.
We've got a handful of really idiotic leftists.
And it doesn't, it never really does anything. But
no, thank goodness.
Yeah. But we don't end up shutting down our city because of these things like other cities. But if we could find a way to somehow take the welcoming of the way people welcome others to this city and bring that to a vision, we'd have something.
Well, I'm convinced of course, then you have the other side. It would be a huge expense to go down. I can see the facilities, up on the pilings, and it's easy to river-proof a structure. You could do it, and just make it
cost money.
Yeah, you just make it. It wouldn't, and I'm not talking about 50-foot pilings either, because I can show you where Riverside Stadium, the field itself hardly ever floods, and the pump house doesn't flood. You just have to be higher than the pump house. It's not like we're talking about, well, how are people going to get up all those stairs? Well, you'd have an elevator, of course,
somewhere. Yeah. Well, look, the elevator's way over there, and that means then I'm going to walk all the way back.
When you connect them with catwalks, I mean, the buildings, you can have, but at the same time, while that's exciting, in no time, one would be a check cashing place and a mattress store and then a breakfast taco place. So,
well, the problem is, I mean, you think about all the cars that drive the future I-69 corridor, right?
Yeah, hundreds of thousands a day.
If we had a way to pull them off, a reason to pull them off that road to visit Victoria,
a way station,
like a Riverside Park, restaurant row, bars and grills, live music venues.
A row. Yeah.
Imagine that.
You need to give people a reason to, when we talk about tourism, and hats off to the Keep Victoria Beautiful folks, and hats off to the Victoria Main Street Project, but we don't have, I mean, nobody. So
absolutely, Stuart Martin.
Nobody ever wakes up and says, well, honey, do you want to go to the Riverwalk? Do you want to go to Fredericksburg? You want to go to downtown Victoria? Nobody ever says, no, Victoria, forget Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
Ever.
I'll tell you a story here real quick. My hometown.
We've got time.
Yeah, I know. It's slow news day, obviously, because we haven't even gotten anything. My hometown, Calgary, had this problem years ago. Aside from the Calgary Stampede every July, there was really nothing to keep people in Calgary.
But that's huge. That's a huge thing.
It is a huge thing.
Saying, well, aside from that Houston rodeo, we ain't got much going on in H-Town.
Yeah, 1.5 million people live in there. But here's the thing, though, because everybody went to Calgary to get to the Rocky Mountains and Banff and Jasper and everywhere else. You had to fly into Calgary. Well, Calgary figured it out. We got to give people a reason to stop here.
Airline delays.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there is no flight to Banff. You land in Calgary, you rent a car, you drive to Banff. But they created some of these sort of, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the term for it, but
weed shops.
No, that came later. They revitalized areas of town. Businesses got together and, took like downtown Victoria and made it a destination all through Calgary, and people stopped. They have the Lilac Festival. They have
with no humor, like Route 66. Here's the tour of historic downtowns.
Yeah, things like that. They have a salsa festival in Calgary, which you wouldn't think would be salsa in Calgary, but they can make some pretty good salsa in Calgary.
Monty Howard says, what is the marketable destination in Victoria?
We don't have
Veracruz restaurant. Come in and
go
to the Tex-Mex capital of the Crossroads. Get into Veracruz today. Pre-Caldo Tuesday. Full menu. Get in and see Lee and Ida. They're coming off their very successful bowling tournament, Latin American bowling tournament. Fantastic
Huge
event.
They were
Big
parked all over John Stockbauer on the weekend.
Yep. Somebody found the jumper cables, and by golly, they had a bowling tournament. USA Concrete Coatings, 578 Home. Let Charlie Garcia help you sand it, seal it, stain it, paint it, whatever you want done to your concrete floor.
Yeah, it won't crack, stick, peel, or fade when
There
they're done
you
with
go.
it.
As quickly as that.
I've never seen it any slower because it's a slow Tuesday.
Next Thursday, the 24th, Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. It seemed like so long into the future, and now it's just next week.
Right here.
The chopping block, I got a memo the other day. I went by yesterday.
Oh, I got one too.
I got a 10% discount just for being.
I get 20.
Do you? Look at this. They have $12 fillets. Today is they have $3.99 a pound wings all week long.
So
That's
there's no
cheap.
Wacky Wing Wednesday.
$3.99 a pound.
Wacky Wing
$1
week.
off more than that.
That's $2 off
$5.99.
regular price. I
Yep.
think.
$5.99 chicken breast, or if it was a furniture store, that's 50% off. $3 a pound for whole fryers. $6 a pound for fresh ground beef, and it is fantastic beef for burgers.
Yep.
And $3.99 pan sausage and chorizo. I went by and bought 3 individual 1-pound packages of
The pan sausage.
Yeah,
or
it's
chorizo.
great
Yeah,
stuff.
I haven't tried the chorizo.
Absolutely. The chorizo is good. It's not super greasy like you expect chorizo to be. Very good. The chopping block, your destination for fresh meat. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Let Alan be your go-to, Toto. You got a problem, Alan can get you out of it. Andrew Alvarez, great point. We'll talk about that nut job in just a minute.
Yep.
The Dollar Floor Store, whether you want tile, luxury vinyl, laminates, hardwoods, carpet, the Dollar Floor Store is your destination to find that.
They've got stuff starting at 99 cents a square foot right now. You can't find it any better priced anywhere.
Junior says the stuffed quail at
The chopping block
is really good. White trash services and white trash site services. If you have an unsightly building on your property and you want to get rid of it, call site services.
I saw White Trash Site Services, smaller job, but this just highlights the point. Any job is not too small or too big for White Trash Site Services. They had a 3/4 ton pickup truck cleaning out somebody's garage in my neighborhood. So there you go. They'll do small jobs too.
Jason Brandon, good morning. Peter
morning,
McNally
Sam.
says, get some young folks with long-term vision to get to work and have support from city and county officials.
We agree on something, Peter. Imagine that.
But Peter, I have to tell you, and I'm just being fair.
Those young folks got to have some money too.
These guys, a lot of them are really, really close personal friends of mine. And I'll tell you that at our city and county level, there is absolutely zero giddy up to develop anything that would be mistakenly thrown into the category of fun in our community.
I mean, look at the pushback we got from the community center project from people.
Yeah, I'm just telling you the truth, and with no slight to them, because I realize that they are a slave to A, getting elected, and B, to watching your tax dollars. These things all sound great, but the first time that an elected official says, we're going to increase this sales tax by 2 cents, and it's going to allow, get them out of here. Taxation is theft. These are the same people that bitch all the time that there's nothing to do in town. But when you want to have a cumulative group of people to pay for something, they don't want any part of let the people that use it pay for it. Well, they already are. They're paying a hotel motel tax that we distribute out to people. But at the end of the day, stop me if you disagree. And I'll name names. Judge Zeller, great friend of mine. Commissioner's Court. Danny Garcia lives in Bloomington, but Tino, Jason Ort, Shannon Martin, Shannon Moore, whichever one that is, Shannon Moore. You go through those great folks. They're great folks. They're great with your tax dollars. Could not care less about, wouldn't this be great? This would be a super quality of life thing. Don't care at all. Don't bring it up. And on the city council, that'll never work. They all go back to Charmel. There's no money for that. There's no money for that. And
They did get behind the new community center.
well, yeah, because it was the cheapest way to do it. That's why they all got on board.
Well, but here's the reality of it, though. If you didn't do it the cheapest way possible,
Wasn't
voters in
gonna
this
get done.
town weren't going to do it. So there's that too.
Yeah. Well, Victoria is notoriously tight ass. And that's why we don't have nice things. I mean, you hear it all the time. I mean, stop me if I'm wrong. 894-4020. Feel free to call.
361 if you're outside this.
You get people all the time talking about, well, why don't we have a splashway here? I mean, they're in the middle of nowhere in Sheridan.
That's why it works.
That's why it works. If we had it
They
here,
got cheap land.
we had it here to be ruined.
Oh, and there'd be all sorts of red tape to build the next water slide on it. It would never get done. It'd be a 3-year project.
I thought it was funny.
Why don't we have that event center that's in Fort Bend? Because we'd have to spend money on it.
People, though, we were down to, honestly, it was like, and we're back to the folks that comment on Facebook that you shouldn't drink this water until we confirm that it's within the TCEQ guidelines, which doesn't mean that it was ever going to hurt you. Nobody got sick from this water event. At the end of the day, that one of the things the city put out was the water pad sites, for the kids, they're still safe. And somebody put on there, well, if it's bad for you to drink, what if you get it in your eyes? What if you bathe with an open wound? These people are soft, weak, and stupid. And unfortunately, that's your voting public. That's just the way it is. Soft, weak, and stupid. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
No.
Uneducated, don't want to know what's going on, don't really care.
Well, like I started off the show, you got idiots complaining on Facebook about the city not giving them information, and they'd rather do that than actually spend that same time typing out that. The time it took them to type out that, they could have found the city's information. Yeah.
There's
absolutely.
the Honorable House District 30 State Rep AJ Louderback. Good morning, sir. He's at a law enforcement, even on his time off, he's at a law enforcement conference.
And folks, exactly, Matt.
Yeah. Peter McNabb says we need a master planner with big bucks behind them, visionary thinkers. Look what Corpus Christi did with Joe Adame and the Hooks vision. Yeah, but I got to tell you,
yeah, but that vision's so.
The only bigger disappointment in the history of development than Victoria is Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
What a dump that town is. Can't wait to be on the air down there and call them out for the waste. If you don't think Corpus Christi ought to be destined, oh, man, you've got right over there, you've got North Padre Island. It's not developed. There's one hotel I'd stay in down there, the Omni, and it's a dump. Corpus is a waste of opportunity. Tell me I'm wrong.
Nope.
Waste of opportunity. You got a waterfront. It's just.
Yeah. What's it dominated by? Refineries in the middle of town.
Yeah. It's a terrible,
at least
terrible
Houston.
city.
Well, I mean, Houston was away from it, but
right.
Yeah. Rena, businesses close their restrooms. Yeah. I don't get that. I don't understand.
Yeah. Cause you can't pee with that dirty water, Rena. That's it.
There's the judge checking in. Good
morning.
We were worried about you, Judge.
Judge,
glad you're good.
Tied up this morning. Good. Yeah.
Oh, was he kidnapped?
We weren't worried. We were just like, it's odd that he's not here. What does it say right there? That little diatribe that we missed?
Let me get back.
Somebody takes that much time to type. There's Linda. There you go.
First of all, they would have to fight for 5 years of where to put it. Then it would end up being in the most expensive, most ridiculous place in town.
Oh, there's no doubt. No. Most inexpensive place. I'm telling you, if you really wanted to build this elevator, they'd want to put it over on the river, like down by the Greens area. I don't know if I've ever been there, but I've just always heard how it always somebody farts and it floods.
Yeah.
So you've got to build it there because it's going to renovate that
the south side. Yeah.
You ain't ever going to renovate the south side. Your best bet is to get a job and move.
Here's the problem with renovating the south side. I've talked about this. The minute somebody goes in and starts buying some of those houses,
property values go up,
and
taxes go up,
and the people that live there can no longer afford to live there.
Right. So unless you want to go in and have a tax, here's what you have to do. You have to go in, and this is me helping you.
You're so benevolent.
Well, I would have been a great mayor. Because as mayor, I would have stood here and told you exactly what I'm telling you right now. You've got to go into that development zone, and you've got to put a tax freeze on any improvements made down there. You got a piece of property down there. It's a shanty shack. It's worth $25,000, and your children are willing to come back to Victoria and put $50,000 in it and landscape it and put a new fence. It's still on the books for $25,000. You get the tax abatement for investing in your property
For not forever, but for
until you sell it. When
There you
you
go.
sell it, maybe it goes on the books for $50,000.
Fair.
Why not? What's it hurting?
Nothing.
Ain't hurting.
You're still
nothing
getting the same tax revenue.
that
You
were
might
getting.
actually get increased sales tax revenue because then people want to live in that area.
That's
then you-
why. Why would you want to live there? Because I can buy the basic bones and a lot for nothing.
And you know what? Then maybe HEB would go, gee, there's people living down there now.
Amen.
Think
But
about
nobody thinks that way. Everybody here is like, well, if we do that, the taxes have got to go up. And yet, and then I get told by friends of mine, don't talk about this. There's a federal building right across the street over here. It would cost $8 million to build. Easy. You
Easy.
agree?
Yeah.
$8 million.
and it would never
to
be
build.
as sturdy.
I'll guarantee you it's not on the tax rolls for $1 million. I'll guarantee you.
It's just on the tax rolls for 300,000.
I know, but I don't want to get fact checked. So I'll just give you abouts.
And it's a beautiful building.
It's
And
a
why
beautiful
would you put any
building.
money
Just-
into it? Because then your taxes will go up.
It's just deteriorating. Well, here's the deal. So follow the money. Follow the money. That building sitting right there is the best looking building in this town. There's 3 buildings in this town that I think are overwhelmingly exquisite. There's the old Craig Mansion that's over on, well, it's not the Craig Mansion. It's Dr. Beatty owned it. It's on Craig Street. It's the whole block.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got and Sam Houston gave a speech in front of it. It's a historically important home. It's sitting empty, deteriorating. Then you've got, I think, the most beautiful courthouse in the state of Texas. I really do. Our courthouse, county courthouse, is a beautiful structure. That's number 2.
Yeah.
And the number 3.
Got to thank Judge Helen Walker for having the vision to put the money in and getting the money to
will
renovate
spend.
that thing. Yep.
But if you go right over here to this federal building right across the street from us, architecturally, structurally, aesthetically, a beautiful and important building. And it's just sitting. I've been in it.
If that building was anywhere else, somebody would have come along already, turned it into
yes.
3 apartments, maybe 6.
But the problem is, and we've run the numbers. We have run the numbers. It's going to cost you $5 million to fix it up. You got 6 apartments. Do you have 4 friends that are going to pay $1 million each
To live in downtown Victoria?
No, we don't either. But here's the problem. It is an important building, period. And it is sitting there rotting. And the reason it's rotting is because it's on the tax roll for so
nothing.
cheap that the guy that owns it can write a check for a couple of grand a year and kick the can down the road. If you came in and you valued that building at what it's worth, all of a sudden he's going, man, I got to pay $30,000 this year in taxes. I'm either A, going to fix it up and get some tenants, or B, I'm going to sell it to somebody who can actually afford it. But don't talk about that, because
No.
everybody else's taxes down here might go up. So we have,
I bet you it's not even valued for what the land is valued.
no, not
is
even
valued
close.
at.
No, it's not even close. Foreign Bill says you could get the city and county to agree to freeze some building appraisal values for economic development, but I think you would have a hard time convincing the school district to do the same. Well,
There's
you know
a
what?
problem when 67% of your taxes goes to the school district. That's where your taxes go.
No, that's right. 2/3 of your city taxes go to the school district already. They love 80%.
It might be more than that in the city. That was when I was living in the county. I think 67% of my taxes went to VISD when I was living in the county.
Yeah. I agree with Jonathan Williams. St. Mary's is beautiful. When they put part of it for sale, would have been an amazing hotel. You know, the
But
problem
here's
with
the
that,
problem. We don't have the people that have the kind of money that would buy those hotels or apartments and stay in them. There's the problem right now. We don't have the economic engine in this town. We've talked about this before. You look at what happens when a business moves from its existing location or goes out of business. What goes in there? Dollar stores,
money laundering,
which are thriving all around the country because under the Biden years, the dollar stores expanded exponentially because inflation was through the roof, and that's where people could afford to shop. But money, check cashing places, cheap insurance, mattress stores, and dollar stores. That's what fills the vacant spots. You know where that happens? Brownsville. You know where that doesn't happen? Sugarland.
That's right.
And we're stuck in the middle, and we're leaning more to Brownsville than we are to Sugarland.
We're very much less than Sugarland. Lisa Poole says the Pioneer Complex would have been a really cool multi-entertainment venue, restaurants, drive-in movies, shopping.
But you know, the funny thing is, probably would have died from this for the same reason that Schrader Hall can't survive. I don't want to drive 20 minutes to get there. I don't want to drive all the way across town to go there. But they'll drive 3 hours to go to the other side of Houston to do the exact same thing that was being offered in Victoria.
Yeah. I would believe, I'll tell you this with kudos to Region 3. There is absolutely no way that Region 3 occupying that facility out there is the highest and best use of that facility. They don't need it. They don't know what to do with it.
Did Pioneer get a tax abatement? Is that why it was sold so cheap? Well, Pioneer sold it, but
I don't, at that point it was disposable.
Yeah.
You know, they made so much money while it was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christy Thurman says, I would think the cartel running Victoria would throw some money into building up the town. Yeah, Jonathan says could have made it a pearl.
But St. Mary's, yeah, probably so.
The problem is but you know, and Torrin Bales could address this even better. There's no parking. There's, you know, and when you've got to go in, I've heard that it's tailor made for making it a destination type boutique.
But why does the Pearl thrive? It's in San Antonio. You've got 1 million plus people right there. That will go there. You would have to scale something like that for it to work in Victoria. And that's hard to do because your initial investment. Well, I'm just talking the district.
We're sold out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right. But you would have to scale it to make it work in Victoria because aside from the hotel at the Pearl, most of the people that go there, there's lots of people with their dogs. Those aren't tourists. Those are local people from the area going there with their dog to enjoy Saturday, Sunday brunch and hang out there at the farmer's market that goes on and all that stuff. That's what's going on at the Pearl. So you would have to scale that for it to succeed in Victoria because you can't make a go of that sort of thing expecting your weekend tourists to come and make it go.
Right.
So that's the difference.
Junior, I disagree. I think Pioneer was highly, highly regulated and probably didn't put any pollution out on the ground out there. Seriously, I really don't. I don't think they did. I don't think they did anything out there that was negative.
Yeah.
The concrete is still white. It's like the facility looks new and it's thick. It's made to handle heavy trucks.
Think about it. People here didn't want to go to Schrader Hall, which is 20 minutes away, but the same people here that used to complain about Schrader Hall would drive to Green Hall in New Braunfels on the weekend to catch a show.
Right.
The exact same show that was playing here the weekend before at Schrader Hall.
Linda Chris says they need to start at the airport. We can't grow with that small, worn out airport. I don't disagree. And I'll tell you this.
Chicken or egg, though. Chicken or egg.
Be ready in August. They are shutting down a runway for a while. The local flights will stop because they're redoing a runway. And they're in the process. Lenny and his team are getting ready to pave that overflow parking lot that's kind of, a mess.
It is a mess.
But I'll tell you with no humor and somewhat with disdain that the conversation that we've just all had about development and why not and all that is more than our elected officials have had in the last decade. Tell me I'm wrong. They have all acquiesced and given in to the fact that at the end of the day, we're sitting with an airport without the steel manufacturing plant. So it is what it is. But if you're listening globally, we'd love to invite you to Victoria.
Now's the time.
Right. Anybody out there, tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not.
I love Keep Victoria Beautiful. I love Victoria Economic Development Corp. Great for them. Show me the baby.
I think our downtown bandstand is awesome. I think it could be.
It
great.
is fantastic. By the way, that happened on Jesus Garza Watch. I think that is a great venue. We've used it. We've supported it.
Jankfest will be there September 4th. Come on out.
Come on out. Real quick, folks. Went Services and Went Electrical. While you're growing, get a hold of a whole house generator. Let Went help you with turnkey generator service. They're a preferred generator dealer. They're also a Kohler, Cummins, Briggs and Stratton.
Like a dozen different brands.
They do them all.
And a big American flag out front.
At 30-foot flag flying to support Victoria and making the Cuero Highway beautiful. Atzenoffer and atzenoffer.com. Atzenoffer, Victoria's dealer since 1926. Go by and see Tommy Taylor and see why you can see the USA in a Chevrolet. Tommy does a great job over there. 4th, 5th, 8th generation running that deal.
20th generation.
Next year, celebrating 100 years.
Crazy.
Brandis, Commander Cody out today. Back in a couple.
Yep.
Get ready for him. Reach out on Facebook. He can help you grow your business. Chesnick and Love make your house a home. See why you just always do better at Chesnick.
Always.
Bobby Leon and his family selling fantastic furniture.
Yeah, go talk to Bobby. He's always there.
For over 100 years. Paravita Wellness, get in and get healthy. Paravita can help you with your weight loss goals, your weight maintenance goals.
Helping me.
Macros. If you need to get your blood sugar right, they can do it. Yep. Torrin Bale says, sometimes you just have to sell one person, one company to make a big difference. Others will follow. One reason I think this came up this morning, we're going to get to the First State Bank in an update in a second. One reason this came up this morning is if you're not on the emotional buzz of what's happening with UHV and A&M, you're missing a key opportunity. There will be business opportunities in this community because of A&M Victoria. I have no doubt about it. You know, that area, for whatever, you've got Chick-fil-A. Within walking distance of the school, you've got Chick-fil-A. Well, the one, not on campus, but the one right 59. Down the street. It's a mile and a half, maybe.
That's cool.
Chick-fil-A, you can walk down there trying to get back. You know, it could be a little tough. Got to maybe pick up the pace.
You might have to,
depending on how old
there's a Freddy's within walking distance. There's a Smoothie King down there.
Yeah, but none of that would be there without the university. And I think you're going to see more and more opportunity as A&M Victoria develops.
Speaking of which, Brady Parker, congratulations, kid.
Amen.
12th round pick of the Colorado Rockies yesterday, goes 347th overall. The first Victorian drafted since Zach Lee in 2021, I believe. Went around earlier than Zach Lee, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and really appears to be a fine kid.
Oh, he's a great kid.
And I just
good family.
He can bring it. It's fun to watch.
Mom Vanessa, Dad Jamie, great people.
Yeah, and it reminds us of something Ash and I've talked about here for years. When it comes to baseball, especially, if you can play, they will find you.
Yeah,
and that's the key. A guy like Brady, of course, he got to the point where he could have left. He could have gone to a big D1 and had his 10 starts or whatever. But he said, hey, I'm going to dance with the one that brung me. I'm having a good time here. I'm learning a lot.
Well, and he also worked with Coach Doug
Heinold,
pitching coach, first round pick of the Yankees back in 73. Yeah, knew what he was doing.
I look at it and say that he could, you know, if you can, the key is to get on the field. And if you can play, consider A&M Victoria. Because
here's something interesting, because I did a little dive into this. LSU Shreveport won the NAIA National Championship, went 59-0, undefeated. Brady was drafted before anybody on that team.
Yeah, think about that. Torrin Bale says, we have a great start. We have an airport. We have A&M University, a port, a river, a beautiful downtown, a historical city, and great people. you're TB, but see, he is a visionary guy. Plus, he says, plus we have the best morning show in Texas. I
Best
appreciate
morning show in the world.
Yeah,
Come on, why sell it short?
Joe Fryer does a great job.
Come on, TB.
I think that the pieces are here, but at the 30,000 foot looking down level, there's no vision.
Well, I think we've tried too hard to find a vision. The Boot Fest, different things that we've tried, and it's all been manufactured.
What about bring your water?
Yeah.
Instead of bring your boots, bring your water. What if we had the
bring your bottle? Let's expand it. Bring your bottle. Whatever you want to drink, bring
the
it.
Victoria Water Festival, where you come in and like instead of a chili cook-off, you have a water tasting. Right?
Over here we've got the cucumber water.
Over
here we've got the lemon water.
B
There's
Small
the orange
says
water.
It's the best morning show in Texas, and B Small says, despite the morning show talent.
I'm going to tell you what, I don't know if there's another morning show that could have carried on 50 minutes with nothing to talk
absolutely nothing to talk about. I do have a question for you folks. Are you concerned about what I think is the fact that either there is an Epstein list and Donald Trump has decided for some reason to squash it, or there was never an Epstein list and this Ghislaine Maxwell lady is in jail really for nothing, and Epstein?
No, she's in jail for something. She's in jail for providing minors to Jeffrey Epstein. He was the convicted pedophile, or he was the charged pedophile. He was on. Was he still awaiting trial, or had he actually been to trial? I don't remember.
I don't know.
When he killed himself, who knows?
When he killed himself.
But she was convicted of procuring children for him.
Grooming people.
Yes. I mean, here's the funny, they call them minors or young women. No, these are children. They're considered children legally. They're under the age of 18. She was procuring children for Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, so he was justly charged and she is correctly confined. But so is there no list? Because I remember very well Pam Bondi, Attorney General.
It's on my desk.
List is on my desk. I didn't know it was a Post-it note. I didn't know, no, there's nothing to see here. But the government, the administration.
Dan Bongino, deputy director of the FBI, made a living on his podcast.
Yep, talking about it.
Got
to be released. Got to be released. Now he's in the position to do so as deputy director of the FBI, and we haven't seen a thing. But does that bother you?
I don't know that there is a list. I bet you there's some names in an investigation file somewhere of people that were connected to Jeffrey Epstein. It doesn't mean they were pedophiles. There's flight manifests of everybody and their dog that flew out to Epstein's island. Donald Trump's on that. Bill Clinton's on it several times. Bill Gates is on there. I think Stephen Hawking was on there.
That plane was wheelchair accessible.
It was.
James Curtis says, Torn Bales, we need to take the show on the road once in a while. Every once in a while.
I'm not in disagreement with
I'm not at all either. By the way, I'm working towards I may do a remote or two from the special session that Governor Abbott has called. We may do a remote or two, a call in. I'll go up there and grab somebody.
Yeah, imagine that.
I would do it too. Just like, come here. Well, what's your name? Where are you from? Who do you represent? I'm from Lubbock. Okay, well, let's talk for a minute. I'll do that. But so what's your take on Trump and Epstein? Is there nothing? Because Trump ran that it's a conspiracy, and I keep clinging to the idea that if there was something at the time when the Democrats controlled whatever it was, they would have used it to beat Trump. If Trump was really on a manifest where it showed that he was at, if there were photos or videos of him doing anything salacious, the Dems would have run with it during the election. And you have to agree with that. That's just good politics. Any opponent would have used that against Donald Trump. And they didn't. which tells me that maybe there's nothing there.
Well, it's interesting that all of a sudden yesterday we find out that the CIA had more connections to Lee Harvey Oswald before the JFK assassination than they would ever let on.
Yeah.
You know,
The one thing that Oliver Stone got right when he had Donald Sutherland play an assemblage of people in the highly, lots of liberties were taken in the movie JFK. It is not a documentary. It is not a historical account. The one thing he got right was when Kevin Costner sat on the bench with Donald Sutherland and said, who killed him? Was it the mafia? Was it the CIA? Was it the Russians? Was it Cuba? And Sutherland looked at him and said, when you get to this level, it's very hard to tell them apart.
They're basically all the same.
They're
New York
all the
Magazine,
same.
the CIA has been caught lying about Lee Harvey Oswald. The Washington Post, the CIA reveals more of its connections to Lee Harvey
Wouldn't
Oswald.
surprise me a bit if he was a patsy 100%.
Oh, they said.
And he wasn't a smart man. You can look at him.
No, you know what? I bet you. I think he was very smart. I think he'd probably be on the spectrum now.
Right. Oh, great. Now we're going to blame the assassination on autism.
Yeah.
There goes the ratings. No, but I agree. I think that
He was off.
yeah, he was definitely off of what we determined to be normal. That's true. But you got to wonder, even in that day, we act like it was so long ago. It's how did Jack Ruby, a part-time mafioso, how did he get into that walkway with a pistol and shoot the guy? And nobody shot him. They just arrested him. Of course, he conveniently had terminal cancer. I mean, I think he was like, I'd love to follow the money.
He didn't have terminal cancer. He was poisoned.
Well,
That's what I'm thinking.
at the end of the day, they probably paid his, hey, Lee, you're a bum. You're kind of a JUCO mobster with some bars. And see what BJ Nelson says. She's always good.
I like the idea of promoting our many, many Mexican restaurants. Have a group similar to the Chamber, but it's Mexican restaurants. Drive folks to our town that way. I agree. I think our Mexican restaurant.
I want to be on that committee. You just sit around, drink beer, and eat queso. I'm in.
Just decide which ones belong on the list every year. I'm in.
No. Veracruz queso. Yes. We could do that.
Let's do the salsa festival.
John Anderson says he thinks the Epstein deal is all fake news.
It's a distraction with what the CIA, Linda Chris says. But Monty Howard says Epstein's not a deal breaker for him because of the preponderance of winning that we are seeing. Junior's something.
Wait,
oh,
what did somebody said something about you've heard of the turkey trot? We could, instead of the Mexican food mambo, no, you could have like the guacamole trots. Yeah. Yeah, you're
James
right.
Kurth asks, how do we not have any archaeological sites in Victoria like Goliad does? We do. The whole Fort St. Louis thing is right there.
And if you just go right out to Coletta Creek when it's down a little bit, there's all kinds of dinosaur tracks.
Yeah,
and
it's all on
bones
private land.
So let's just eminent domain it. Let's see. What did Jonathan Williams say? Downtown businesses, for example, are doing a great job of working together to create a cool vibe. The Green Cow, Evans Pizza.
Great ice cream at the Green Cow.
Yes, Blumenthal, Mother Cluckers. The city doesn't seem to have any ability or interest in fanning that flame effectively and building on those visions. Well, like I said, I'm just telling you, you're never, ever, ever going to be in a meeting of the city or county where somebody goes, let's just do this because it'll be cool. And that's that youthful vibe that you need in a city. What we have is a bunch of rumph. We're not going to get around. I can't do that. Yeah.
Avocados are too expensive. You'd have to charge admission to get into Guacamole Fest to try everybody's guacamole because
or you find a sponsor.
$1.69 for one avocado at HEB the other day.
Does anybody else share this idea? If you're like me and you go home and you cut your avocado, you use your knife blade, twist, and get the seed out, and then
you cut your hand trying to get it off the knife.
Sure, I've done that. You have to learn how to just bang it on the side of the trash can. But I will scoop those out. Why would anybody pay $1.69 for a big avocado when you can buy the little ones for 60 cents a piece, and 3 of them is twice as much avocado as the one that's 169.
Yeah. No,
Are
I
you
agree.
that lazy? I only want to peel 1 avocado.
Yep.
Goodness gracious,
Yep.
people.
No, that's exactly it. Let's have a menudo fest.
Well, then you've got to have a beer bust the night before, so your stomach's, yeah.
Absolutely.
The tamale tango, says Junior. Maybe we'll talk about food tomorrow. Lisa Poole says she bought avocados for 46 cents a piece at Aldi's. Those Germans don't know beans about avocados. Y'all have a great day. We love you. Thanks for bearing with us. Tomorrow there will be news.
Bye, folks.
I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that,